morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. The title of today's stream is Wake Up Crypto. Well, after a horrible last week with scams left and right, with everybody missing the generational runners of the day, we are now back with some pumpage to start the week, which you absolutely love to see. We held absolutely critical levels. ETH is starting to look pretty good. Bitcoin looks awfully squeezy. The only thing that concerns me is that we do have just a little bit of a CME gap below us, which we know typically they love to fill. Very high probability fill rate. But just because there is a perfect level does not always mean that it's going to get hit. So we're going to cover what we're seeing in the markets, going over a whole bunch of different things today. We'll cover a bunch of different tickers, go over some majors, go over some shit coins, go over stocks, what we're expecting as we get into the very last couple trading sessions of Q3, right as the calendar rolls over into what is historically the most bullish time of the year, being Q4, October, November, December. I'm here joined by Haggard, our CFO, and Louis T, also known as Meat Stick, one of our analysts and fund traders here at BB. Guys, what are we seeing out there? I know there's green this morning, but I'll ask you this question point blank. Will this rally fail like all the others, or is this one different?
It's a good question. And I also have a question real quick. Did you guys have fun this weekend? Because this was this weekend right here, guys. So a lot of fun action in the market. But do I think it will fail? No. I think there's obviously a CME gap down there still. I mean, when it's like this small, sure, we can come back and fill it. It's really not that far away, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if we came back for it, but I don't know that we have to. We left this one back here, and we did try to partially, I guess we didn't. This candle has a flat bottom, huh? We didn't even wick into it. So yeah, I guess we could maybe come back and fill it, but don't think that would be a disaster by any means. I don't know. I think for me, like hanging out above these highs is enough. If you can kind of confirm this as a kind of a deviation, then I think we don't need to go fill it. But if this turns into a wick and we start doing this, then yeah, we're probably gonna fill the gap at 110. But it's nice to have a little bullish Monday, of course, after nothing happened this weekend and we looked pretty bad on Friday. So we'll take it. But I don't know if that gap is totally safe quite yet, I guess is what I'll say. I think it depends on the next couple 6-hour candles, honestly. Because I think if we get if we hang out up here 115, 116, I don't think there's any reason to fill a gap that small necessarily. But they do usually fill. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the gap. Louis, what do you think? Are we gonna fill the gap or
the old reverse BART pattern, huh?
Yeah.
It's nice when the BARTs work in our favor finally, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, famous last words, breakaway gap, question mark, It's I think it's important, like when these gaps occur, I think it's context is important. Coming off a, although, I guess locally it was a big move for Bitcoin and ETH, but it wasn't, that crazy. But even with this move, we saw a ton of froth and liquidations wiped off the board. Lot of OI leverage longs wiped over the last week. Went into a slow weekend, and then Sunday night, seeing that pump into the weekly close, and that was something I was talking about last night. I posted on X and also in the Discord that, they pumped us they pretty much saved by the bell by the bulls, right? The weekly closes could have looked a lot worse if we didn't really start moving last night. So coming off, a large liquidation event that we saw last week, in theory, that should be a breakaway gap, right? And I say that because I guarantee there were tons of market participants who panic sold or were forced sellers on last week's move. And when you see that, and you see kind of this quick reversal, that would tell me that we shouldn't be returning back to those levels, right? I'm actually surprised we didn't see more of a backfill of the Sunday nights on the market open. And because we didn't see that is probably another reason why I think, like, if they were going to backfill that, they probably would have did this morning, or it's going to happen today, right? But with context of the amount of liquidations, kind of also maintaining a higher low here for Bitcoin, I think we should be okay. I don't think we need to return to that level. I think the market is now going to bring pain to people that were either shorting or selling the lows, or were forced to be sellers. And now they have to sit and watch everything bounce hard, because it works both ways, right? The same way people start piling in at the highs, buying, trying to get as much exposure as they can, anticipating that breakout. It also happens to market participants at the lows, right? So with all the context and what we're seeing, and I think that should be a breakaway gap, and I think we should be all right. And I think closing the day above 113K today is a good sign, right? If we're getting the next couple of days of closing the daily above 113K, I think we're going to continue this climb back to the upside. So I think we're safe.
I think we're safe. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see a green Monday. I'm almost suffering from like PTSD and just denial, because it just seems like everything gets sold off. But when you look at the amount of sell volume that came in towards the low there at the very, very tail end, of Q3, as we're about to have a calendar rollover into what is historically the most bullish 90-day window for crypto. Looking at something like the ETH chart, right, on maybe just like a mid time frame, 6 hours, something like that. If you were just to draw this out as one giant range going back to, middle of August, right? Range low, range high. Looks like Tucker's working on it. That to me looks like a pretty damn textbook deviation of that low. I think there's a little bit of work to be done. Like, I know there's a small gap for, QQQ kind of right below where we're at right now, which, we could talk about later. You are approaching, as Tucker has drawn here, your range value area low and your point of control. So although this is a deviation, I wouldn't say that the job is finished until we're back inside range value, which is that kind of red box that Tucker has. So a little bit of work to be done, but this is kind of more or less exactly what you needed / wanted to see to get bullish here for a Q3 into Q4 swing low pivot. And you can kind of only hope that the bulls stay in control here, for the remainder of this week. And I look at the weekly candle, and Operation Save the Weekly chart, didn't look so bad. Like the weekly candles, they could have looked a lot worse. They did look a lot worse, Saturday midday.
Yeah.
And we saw nice wicks, right?
Yeah.
Sentiment was just, I mean, horrible, man. Horrible. Grown men having temper tantrums on the timeline when we were down there on Saturday, So things look pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. Like the sentiment, everything's kind of pointing towards, what we've been expecting. To be honest, I thought the market makers had a little bit of a soul. That was a rookie mistake by me. I thought I really didn't think that we were going to see another sweep like this. Was I prepared and aware that it was on the table? Always, right? Especially in the market conditions we've been in. But that did really feel like the final blow, right? That like last week, if there was anyone left standing, which it's probably not many people, last week was probably a pretty big detrimental blow to a lot of market participants. So now, right, everyone's conditioned for that sweep of the lows, right? And it's something I said last week. So again, famous last words, but market has now like doesn't trust any bounce or rally off the lows without expecting some sort of re-sweep or retest of some sort. And eventually that will stop, right? Eventually that's going to stop. Now is a better, best time, if ever, for that to be the case, where everyone is now cemented and conditioned to expect that. And it just doesn't come, right? And again, I think there's a lot of people that if they weren't sidelined or something of that nature, they are now probably doing a lot of selling last week. And now they have to sit here and it's going to be a hated rally, in my opinion. And they're going to be like, where's my sweep of the lows? Let me get my entry back, and it's not going to come.
Louis, what do you think about this Bitcoin CME gap? Are you concerned about it or no?
No, like I mentioned, I think with context of everything we've seen and everything we're seeing in the rest of the global macro markets, that should be our breakaway gap. That was your trap, right? I don't think we come back down there. I don't think we should be. Sure, locally here we could definitely see some pullbacks, some local shakeouts, but I don't think we return back to those lows. Sentiment, seeing how everything played out last week, kind of where we're sitting on the charts here. The market should start to bring pain back to sideliners and for sellers or sellers in general last week, right? So no, I'm not worried about it. I don't think we come back down there.
I hope not. I mean, yeah, I think it actually probably needs to be the breakaway gap like you talked about, because if you do come back down to 111 and retrace this entire pump today, this entire candle, like that looks pretty bad. Like this still needs to be the low, right? Like I really would not want to see a lower low set on Bitcoin. Like I'm very glad we held 109, 110 here. But I don't think you can. I think if you fill the CME gap, you're probably going a decent bit lower, actually.
So you think, Tucker, this is one of those the rare CME gaps that needs to be so bullish that we just leave it for a long time? Because then that has been something we've talked about in the show. This idea of like when you really are about to mark up aggressively, you don't get that perfect pullback, but more specifically as it pertains to CME gaps, there's countless examples last cycle where you just mark up on a weekend. It's nothing insane. Everybody just wants it to get filled and they're like, "Ooh, careful, there's a gap." And then we just leave it. And we've been saying, like that does happen when things get really bullish and people are really off sides and not positioned for, a big move that's coming. But most of these gaps do fill, right? So you're thinking that, maybe, just maybe, this time around, it will be a bullish gap that just does not give that perfect fill.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, like this one back here, we didn't really get a perfect fill. The only thing about this one is like we at least wicked into it a little bit. Here, it's this flat bottom candle. We haven't wicked into it at all.
Yeah, I expected a little more kind of sell off into the market open from the move yesterday.
Real quick, Supply, why did you say that? Is there something that you're watching, or are you just I'm cool with just random bullish hopium. I'm a big fan of that. But is this that, or are you actually tracking something? Because if that is the case, I'm going to be very happy. But I don't know if that's true. Actually, I would probably bet that that is not true. I'm just curious why you said that.
It's been hinted at. I feel like I could see that. That would really spark a frenzy, right? And I do think the crypto market, does need some sort of catalyst to kind of bring people back, because if any slight sliver of retail that's stuck around for the last year and a half, it's going to take a lot, a lot of convincing to bring those people back. People have really given up and lost hope on this asset class. Not saying we need it, but I think that's something where that will make a lot of people forget a lot of the crappy year and a half we've seen, and you'd really see money flow, especially big money, into crypto. That's just big money likes to save on taxes however they can. That's a super bullish catalyst for people to.
What do you think about this though, Louis? Because I think that's probably true, but I think it would be like overwhelmed by people coming into the asset class probably because they would know that they don't have to pay gains going forward at all. I think both can be true probably, but what do you think?
Yeah, no, I could see why that makes sense. But let's be real. How many people are actually sitting on crypto profits right now? Not many, right? I guess like bigger, smarter money possibly. But I think it's way more bullish for bullish flows than negative flows.
I don't think you could really paint a strong case for that being bearish. Like, I don't think people would be rushing to sell. Honestly, I think people would be rushing to buy to create those gains. And then, I don't think that would be, I can't imagine us having a sustained sell off after news like that. I mean, that would be the most, that would be the most historic news that crypto's arguably ever had. Like that, I mean, without question.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think if you got that news and like others was at, huge all-time highs and total 3 was flying, and then sure. Right. But I think if that news came right now, I think it would be pretty bullish overall.
Yeah.
That would spark a massive long-term rally for crypto, which is something we've been talking about, and the whole entire kind of macro setup here is also in favor for the asset class as well. So that would just be another bullish tailwind. But again, all speculation, right?
Well, okay, so that's a big deal, I think. Do you think they would announce that before the extension stuff, or they want that revenue from last year and then they'd announce it for next year type of thing?
I mean, the extension deadline is in 2 weeks, just over. I mean, I think it'd probably be for like next year or something like that,
Yeah.
I'm the sucker that's been paying taxes throughout the year already.
I don't know if you're doing that correctly then, bro.
Hello, guys. How we doing?
Hey,
Chef.
Sorry for joining you late, but
Daddy's here.
things to do.
Yeah,
For those
Daddy's
that
here.
don't know, Chef had a baby.
Chef had a
No.
baby.
It happened?
It happened, Tucker. Daddy Jack is here. Over the weekend, it happened on Saturday, actually. It started on Friday and then happened on Saturday. Then big celebration until today. And now I'm here.
Wow,
Now,
that's
Jack,
awesome.
you're going to keep your child far away from crypto, right? There's a better life for that baby out there.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
thank God.
correct.
Thank God. Yeah, life has dreams, you know.
Yeah,
They will
and
be
it's
happy that daddy owned crypto for them.
that's true too. That's probably true too. But gotta keep the baby away from autists and so forth, me included. So in this regard. So but no, I think I was saying like it's very critical for people to have some financial knowledge these days. So I think I'll explain her markets. Teach her to take care of her finance, and so forth. But no, she's definitely not going to be a trader.
Yeah.
unless that's what she wants, but I'll definitely advise her against it.
Yeah. There's a better life for her out there, I promise, you know.
Yeah.
Daddy's
So,
going
yeah.
to put in all the work so that she doesn't have to. She doesn't need to be a part of this place. I always
She'll
said
just
that someone
manage
will
the
once in a
trust
while
fund.
be like, "Oh, your son is the future CEO of BB." I'm like, over my dead body. Over my dead body is he going to be exposed to this cesspool that we call crypto?
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe the connotation will change with digital assets in years to come. Who knows what the situation will be 10 years, 20 years from now, right? Like stocks, people are these sophisticated gentlemen nowadays, but let's not forget that not so long ago they were, the biggest degenerates as lots of crypto folks are nowadays. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows?
They still are. They just hide it better.
Yeah,
They do it in suits.
good in suits and have less volatility.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Chef, I wanted to get your take on this because I asked Louis and Tucker about this. We do have just a little baby CME gap below us on Bitcoin. Are you worried about that CME gap personally?
I'm not worried about it, but I do think there is a right now good chance for us to come back to it. That's true, but I'm not worried about it. I welcome these things. It's like Gensel and Gretel when they had the breadcrumbs. So it's kind of like these breadcrumbs that the market leaves behind, so that it can find its way back, and then you use it as a nice confluence. So. But yeah, I think we are getting to the end of this very low monthly volatility period, and I'm just so excited for Q4 and 26 and what's to come, in my opinion. Because I think the breakout is coming nonetheless. Doesn't matter if you are a bear or bull. Well, obviously, I would think people listening will be mostly bulls, but to us, of course. And in either case, there is going to be, in my opinion, a big volatility breakout
On BVOL.
in the market, in this space. Yes.
Yeah, the 7 days at pretty historic levels down here.
Yeah, historic levels, exactly. Like they only come, maybe on average once a year. So very critical.
Yeah, and it's weird to see Bitcoin this high or far along in its cycle and BVOL being so floored out, because in the past, BVOL has been that suppressed when we've been like pre-bull market, right? So then it might beg the question, are we pre-bull market on Bitcoin? And this is just going to be more of like a 2017 style, like unbelievable multiples type of cycle, or is this cycle different in the sense that we are further along in the cycle and we are just seeing crazy vol suppression? I don't know, right? Because obviously you can see Tucker did a nice job highlighting this. Like the previous points in time in the last cycle and a half, right? Going back to 2020. When Bitcoin vol has been this floored out, it's like pre-bull market in Q4 of 2020 or like coming off the bear market low in 2023 and now right now at 114K. It's different, right? Like this vol suppression for Bitcoin is strange to me. It's strange.
Yeah, that's what leaves everyone so confused, being so long in the cycle, and rightfully so, because it's a new situation. But I think that's how it needs to be approached, as a new situation. And the market's been clearly trending higher over the past years. The structure does remain to be bullish, and you kind of expect the breakout to be in the direction too. But gotta have patience for it, and not get lost on the 1 minute chart.
I mean, every time you've gotten, kind
Yes.
of too close together, it's been generally. Or wait, did I take one away here? It's been pretty bullish every time. I'm just now looking at this.
It's been very
Yes.
bullish.
Yeah. Like there hasn't been a time where it was really bearish. Like
Yeah.
after that second B vol hit that level of 3.5 up. Here you did have some chop and then up, right? But
Yeah, I would say the only bearish outcomes were really the real bearish outcome was 2018, that's for sure. But that's been a very different phase of the cycle. Like that's been after BTC made 20,000% gains, clear while parabola that broken out, and you had a floor down below it, versus and then you had a mini version in August 2023 when that broke out to the downside at first and then turned around to the upside. So in that sense, most of the times it's what is a low volatility, right? Like people get bored, the market doesn't move, there are no new sellers, and then obviously you gotta watch to which side are we breaking. You look at the context to see. But once it starts happening, that is going to cause the new impulsive wave and new interest to come into the market. So yeah, I kind of think that sellers ran out of boredom, and this market is ready for another repricing.
looks that way.
Well, higher. My anticipation is higher.
Mhm.
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, I love the price action this morning because it's the last couple trading sessions of Q3. And also September is historically seasonally not the best month. But Q4, October, November, December is typically really solid, right? And seasonality is one of those things, at least certainly this cycle, where it's been a bit hit or miss, right? Like Q1 didn't play out, but there's also been some seasonality that has played out. Q4 seasonality is the big thing, right? Like that's typically every cycle when Bitcoin and stocks put in like their big moves. It's typically Q4 into Q1. Q1 more for stocks than crypto, I would say. But I really like the horrible sentiment buildup piling in at the lows. Everybody just distraught end of last week to see a Monday rally into, or I guess Sunday night rally into, potentially a Q3 swing low before the most bullish time of the year. I really like the setup. I do. I definitely have a little bit of like PTSD in the sense of like this rally will fail like the rest of them, but I do love the potential for a move here given all of the things lining up. I will say.
I think I think you're going to have a quarterly low, obviously. I think if we could potentially knock that out sooner than later, that'd be great. I think we could this week, and that could coincide with the CME gap. I think that's probably, if we're just talking local price action, that's probably the most ideal outcome. Is we come fill that gap like Thursday, Friday, and then we kind of have some runway for Q4. But I know there's some moon on the 6th that Tommy was talking about that we need to be aware of. So
Some moon.
there is a moon.
Some moon we need to be aware
Some
of.
random moon just randomly flew by,
Just the moon.
from another universe.
It's an asteroid.
Yeah.
When
I mean,
is
if you
Tommy
look
coming
at,
back, by the way?
if you look at what we did last year, if I'm correct on my memory, I'm pretty sure we climbed all of September. Literally October 1st hits, we dropped into that Q4, right? Set the Q4 low. Literally on the dot, like October hit, bang.
Yeah.
And then it was pretty much up only after that. So
Yeah.
maybe we kind of front ran that a little bit, right? Where September was more of a bearish month this go around. And instead of dropping second October hits and Q4 starts, maybe that what we've seen over the last week was kind of that, a week or two ahead of schedule. So, and even there too, you had a nice bounce, you came back, you swept the low. So it's always on the table, right? It's always a possibility.
I think that actually looks, I mean, it kind of looks similar to where we are. I mean, just
Instead of sweeping the low, maybe we made a higher low,
we did make a higher low instead of, just talking about.
That was one thing I said too last week, was that I was under the impression if we started actually retesting those lows from September, like in the beginning of September, end of August, things would look a lot more dicey. So I did like that we stopped on a dime and made a slightly higher low. I think if we're coming into those, like that low we made, end of August, first week of September, that should be the pivot point low, in my opinion. So I do like that we made a higher low as well. So
yeah. I mean, it does just look a little similar, I think it does.
This is very true. Like, so many people left the market, left the space. And that is definitely bullish. That is also, what we discussed, the low volatility, right? Like, low volatility is because people left and there is no interest. And so the market kind of dies out. And then it takes a little to move it. And then it will spark the interest again. Market goes from low volatility into high volatility, back to low volatility.
ebbs and flows,
By the way, I asked before, when is Tommy coming back?
I think Friday, maybe Thursday. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, bull market can resume after that.
Yeah. Time.
You know how it goes. Q4 begins in 2 days. Tommy comes back on Thursday. I like it. I like the thought.
Do you guys have any thoughts on Bitcoin miners here? Because they have been showing, I mean, resiliency is almost an understatement. Like last week when Bitcoin flushed, they moved down a little bit, but like not really. And this morning, I mean, I'm looking at something like Riot up 9%. Just looking so strong.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah, the miners have seasonality on their side here. They have they're exiting a multi-year consolidation, right? Like you could see at the Riot chart how it's been just ping-ponging back and forth for the last year and a half, finally exiting that kind of consolidation, reaccumulation. Seasonality says that Q4, September, October, November, these miners really, really start to go and move. They're either usually doing nothing or they're pumping hard, right? I feel like there's not much in between for the miners. So I still think the move is just getting started. I think they're going to continue to do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look really good. I think Riot probably looks the best.
Yeah. Riot tends to move first too. If you compare it to something like Mara, I know fundamentally there's reasons that Riot may, probably fundamentally better, right? And that's not something I know too much about. I know Prometheus has touched on it and he's brought some things to my attention, but Riot tends to start moving first, like end of September, early October, and then Mara usually does its bigger moves like later October, November. I think it also has something to do with, I think Riot reports earnings in October and Mara in November, right? So I feel like that could be a reason for the lag. But yeah, they both look similar. They both look similar. I'm in both. I'm in Riot and I'm in Mara. We got positioned like three weeks ago. I did a YouTube video on that as well, talking about Bitcoin miners, thinking it was a good time, and that was like a great timing to get into the miners. And usually when the miners are pumping, crypto's pumping. Right? So
I'm only exposed to Riot. I made a video on it last week. Just because the Riot pair chart looks a lot better. Like when you pair Riot against some of the other miners, I think it seems like it's going to continue to lead. But I will say this, if crypto, specifically Bitcoin, is going to have bullish, vol expansion here in Q4, which again is the most bullish quarter for crypto, that's typically when you do see miners blow off, right? So maybe the time has finally come for Bitcoin miners to put in those crazy moves when Bitcoin mining becomes so profitable for like 90 to 120 days. It's basically just like alt season, right? Like when alts perk up, when Bitcoin's in price discovery, that's typically when you just get those like crazy 50 to 100x moves in 90 days, and then they're top for 4.5 years. But it's hard not to notice the strength, right? It is very obvious outperformance.
It looks like they take even longer. They lag even more, right? So like this thing topped in February. Oh, that was 21. Oh wow.
You're a year behind on the timing for the month.
Yeah,
usually it's in the halving year.
Wow. That's interesting.
But that's just been this like how this quote unquote cycle has gone. We got pretty much postponed a year.
Well, I guess some of them are different. Like Riot topped in Feb of 2021. This one topped April and then really topped November 21.
Huh. Interesting.
So yeah, that is interesting. Look at some other one. January 21.
The halving does matter. It will always, but its importance is diminishing with each cycle, and that's, in my opinion, why the 4-year cycle really doesn't matter much. Because again, the halving, most of the bitcoins are already out there, and so now it's more about demand and supply, and less about new supply getting added to the market. So like it's a ratio, right?
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of the miners are really starting to hold on to their Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They usually sell in droves during a Bitcoin bull market, but mining will become less and less profitable over time. So to subsidize that, it seems as if they're more or less stacking their Bitcoin at this point and not like mining it and selling it.
They are more or less becoming what strategy is.
Yeah.
when you think about it. It will really come to the fact whether the operational cost is compensating for the mining, right? Like if they are net positive or net negative on it. Is it better to just hold it, to just buy and hold, or is it better to mine and get some extra value out of that? And if so, I believe the market will speak, and then the stock price will continue to go higher, because you are better than just a company that holds BTC. You are adding new one, right? It's a net positive value for the society. So yeah. And I think the market is speaking here, and I'm happy as a Green Spark holder.
Yeah, I know we talked earlier about potential like bullish news catalysts for crypto. Someone mentioned like no taxes on capital gains or something like that. Something else I could see, again, total speculation, spitballing ideas here, especially from what we've seen from the administration and everything, and the pro crypto environment they're trying to create in the United States. I could see a potential scenario where, the US helps subsidize US Bitcoin mining companies, maybe reducing their energy costs and stuff like that. And something along those lines that helps these Bitcoin miners stay in business and stay profitable. That's something that also could spark a monster rally in the miners, and that wouldn't be so crazy and outlandish compared to what we've been seeing so far out of Trump and like their pro crypto stance, especially for US crypto companies. So that's something I could see potentially down the pipeline occurring as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, imagine if like made in USA Bitcoin starts trading at a premium or something. That'd be crazy. Or no cap gains on US mined Bitcoin. That would be hilarious, man. People trying to prove that. Like, no, I bought this Bitcoin like 3 years ago. I promise it was mined in America.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad concept. Sorry, not in the terms like I do not know what to think of it yet. But like the idea that could be a thing, is what I mean at some point, where people will be like, oh yeah, that's BTC mined from China, But I think essentially it will not matter, of course, because like, it's just Bitcoin. It's worldwide. But I could see like governments trying to implement that. Like for example, we are not accepting Bitcoin that's mined from China or something like that.
Can't predict nothing. I mean, it's very similar to the whole tariff concept, right? Like everyone looks at the net negatives of the tariffs, but what it really does is it drives companies to do business within the US,
Bro, do you remember like a few months ago, everyone was like tariff end of the world? Who cares about tariffs nowadays?
Yeah. It's almost as if it's making the United States money and driving business. And
I am making a video on Andy and Wolf today. It's going to be a super cooker. The only question I have for you is how many chairs are you sitting in right now? Are you sitting in one chair or are you sitting in multiple chairs? We're going to talk about that this afternoon. It's going to drop. It's going to be a cooker. All right. Cooker.
Anyways.
What was I going to say? Louis, I saw you posted something of laying down.
He's sitting in no chairs. He's sidelined on chairs.
Just laying on a flat ground.
Laying face down.
Make it end.
What do you guys think about Coinbase?
Bullish.
That's bullish.
Going to $600.
Are we gonna go ahead and megaphone back down to 130 or
no?
We'll never see a red candle ever again, Tucker.
Oh,
Ever.
I see.
Red candles don't exist in this new paradigm.
I see.
Coinbase is about to put in a move that Hood is doing right now, in my opinion.
That Hood already did, kind of.
Yeah, it's still doing it. Hood's up like another 7-8% today, absolutely chatting. But Hood had a similar, big run off the lows, scary 40-50% drop near the all-time highs, and then has been on a face-ripping rally ever since. And I think Coinbase is going to do something very similar.
Because you could zoom in. I feel like this is that kind of, honestly. Like, I don't think this is this.
I do.
I think it's better, Louis. I think it's this.
Makes you think if that is the case, then how high Hood is going to go?
How high is Coinbase gonna go?
Yeah, but if Coinbase is going to do that, makes you think how high
Yeah,
Hood is going to go.
True. I mean, just kind of looking at it, like, I guess maybe. I just feel like this looks more similar. How it just kind of, did one of these.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very bullish Coinbase. I've been adding. I took profits at the all-time high. I bought on, we're buying Coinbase stock around the March, April lows. Took profits at the all-time highs. Happy with that, and I've been adding back kind of in this area we're in now over the last like 2 to 3 weeks, just compounding the position and just getting ready for the real move. Right? I mean, Coinbase is still under its IPO price from 2021. We're seeing the Russell doing its thing. Crypto should be gearing up for a big move. In theory, we should see Coinbase trading well above its 2021 IPO price very soon. It's pretty much done everything it's needed to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I think the structure looks choppy right now, but I think it's gonna, with crypto, just sort of start trending higher. I think once it clears that all-time high wick, back from summer of 2022 when it IPO'd, I think you're just going to look back at this structure as like accumulating it anywhere below that. It's just an unbelievable base. So
yeah, this is your accumulation base.
Do you guys think that if Binance is able to offer services to U.S. customers at some point this cycle, that would really kind of dent Coinbase, or no? Because I think Coinbase has been a major beneficiary of the strict and kind of like crippling limitations that have been imposed on U.S. customers for a long time. I think they've benefited directly from that. No firm opinion on it, just other than I think that's true. Because I know there's been some chatter about like U.S. citizens will eventually be able to trade on like foreign exchanges again.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be a top for Coinbase stock if that happens later this cycle.
I don't think that happens anytime soon. And there's still Binance US, right? They could just reopen up. I don't even know. Maybe Binance US is usable again. I remember I was, using Binance the US before they kind of took that away in what was that, 2022, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how popular it was, to be honest. I don't, I don't know. I just think Coinbase is cemented, especially everything they're doing with Base too. They're getting into stocks now. They have stocks. They have perps trading. They have a credit card. They have a debit card. They're just continuing to create revenue streams, different ways to make money. And we're about to likely entering into a crypto bull run. So that's always profitable for them.
Are you guys interested at all by Gemini?
Damn.
I mean, they IPO'd. You could be here on Gemini.
That's a true crypto IPO right there.
You could be here on Gemini. That kind of looks like Coinbase. This,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, Gemini is really shitty exchange. So
it is.
Yeah.
they just probably needed new money to operate because they've been operating at a long-term loss.
Yeah. Is Kraken doing an IPO? Do we know?
I think so. I think I've heard rumors.
Thought they were too.
Yeah, I don't see Gemini as competition to Coinbase at all.
No, but
I mean,
Binance
technically they are, but
Binance could be, in my opinion.
Yes, yeah.
But don't see it with Gemini either.
yeah, we use that. I'm always flabbergasted at the lack of liquidity on what's supposed to be a tier 1 US crypto exchange on like high cap cryptos.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by that.
I guess for like the just retail trader, you know, like
Yeah,
it's fine, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to want to bet on that instead of Coinbase.
Might not be bad to buy some leaps on that with small size, you know, for like late in the cycle.
I agree.
Let,
If we're in a crypto bull run, I don't think Gemini is going to go straight down. Like it's probably going to go back up, but like
let's put it this way: if Gemini starts pumping, it's probably the end of the cycle. Like a lot. I'm not talking about like a 1-day move up, right, or something. But like, you know, if we suddenly, for example, saw this chart going from like 20 to I do not know 60, 80, then that's probably like that might be the end of it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we think of the ETH dominance chart, guys?
I think it looks more bullish than ETH BTC. Personally, like locally, I do.
Do you think that there is some drop from this region, like an extended one for some time?
Tucker, do me a favor, zoom in on it a bit. Go to like the 4-hour. I like the pullback depth on this chart more than I do with ETH BTC. But I think if you reclaim like 13.5, then you're just going to start moving.
Yeah, right here.
Just given where I think ETH is going to go, which is much higher in price discovery at some point next quarter, I can't maintain that bearish of a posture with this chart.
Yeah.
I mean, it just kind of looks like the July dip, you know, it's like a little pullback.
Probably just gonna need some time, honestly.
In theory, what we should see is we've talked about this. I think Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to bounce here. I think Bitcoin leads this rally into price discovery. Then that flows to ETH. Maybe you see a pop in this chart. But then after that, you should see altcoins starting to take dominance from ETH a little bit. So.
Yeah, I mean, you should pretty much be bottomed around here on ETH dominance if it's gonna go higher. I think.
What do you think, Jackus?
I do kind of think it takes maybe a little pause here. Maybe like BTC leads here for a little. But I do tend to think that once E starts breaking on the USD pair back to new highs, it will start to lead again. So a little drop maybe here, a little further possible, but then higher up. Maybe, it's tough one, right? Because it's like you're bullish on both BTC and ETH, and you're really questioning the timing here of which one goes first, kind of thing. I could see the ETH dominance dropping to like 12%, maybe even at like the most extreme like 11.3 or something. But then I think it trades higher, and I think we will see new highs this cycle compared to the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, guys, I gotta run. I'm visiting the 2 awesome girls of mine, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you, Chef.
Sounds
Yeah,
good,
guys.
bro.
Yeah, I think that the ETH dominance chart that you have here, Tucker, it just doesn't feel like it's going to have a sustained pullback to me. Honestly, I think this is largely it.
You think, yeah,
Yeah, this feels no different than the drop that we had in, what was it, late June, early July?
what, here?
That thing, yeah. Is that middle June?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels really similar to me. It does. Feels very, very, very similar to me.
Yeah, I just want to see it above 15, and I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, once you clear 15, it's like,
Yeah.
it's over, man. It's completely over. Dude, I just realized Hood is at $130 right now.
Dude, I remember
trading that thing at $7.
Oh my god, I know. $8, yeah.
I was like playing options in there.
Yeah. Should have just bought
That's
spot.
crazy. Should have just bought shares. Pissed off. Unbelievable. I mean, I won on those trades. It's just like looking at the chart now. It's like,
I know.
what am I doing?
I know.
What am I doing?
Launch. Is this a good enough chart?
Dude, look at Pump for me. I'm curious to know your thoughts on Pump. We can look at this first if you want, but I'm so curious.
Yeah, no, we can look at Pump. But yeah, so sass for launch. Is there? Hold on, there has to be a better one, right? We just try to find a better one if it's possible. All right, looks like Maxi is it.
It looks like it's trying to be accumulative, but it's
Yeah.
just not sure yet.
It's not quite sure.
But like it's certainly trying to. I don't hate that.
I think that's the best you can hope for.
I think you just don't want to lose that last low. You want that to be kind of like an inverse head and shoulders type of thing. I don't know. I'd rather buy something like this when it's starting to trend.
Yeah,
But
I'd rather buy it above here.
yeah.
Like
Classic
all
story tweets.
all that should be support. This would be the more conservative play would be to get it above like, what is that, 0.1, like 100 mil, but you could still do this for a while, you know. But yeah. So much worse when you pull it up on stream. Yeah, it's trying. It's trying.
Yeah, I think I'd rather buy pump.
Jeez.
If I were to.
Pump does not look too bad in my view.
Yeah.
Like if there was ever a place to hold, it's going to be somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. That is real nice right there.
Tucker Nachi.
I'm a big fan of that line right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Breakout, all-time high breakout traders get wrecked. Nice pullback after a big run. I like this area. I've been debating it.
Even that would be fine.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what you want. Like visually, it doesn't look like it's just gonna do this, you know.
What's the market cap?
I don't know.
You could check on TradingView.
Hang on, I got it. It's 2 billion.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd still rather buy something like Zora that's at like 200 mil.
Some garbage, maybe.
Yeah, something like that probably.
Garbage.
How about the per NFTs?
Really?
What?
What are they?
So I'm curious. I feel like Tommy should have gotten one. I don't know. I know he was involved in Hyperliquid earlier on.
Yeah.
But I think you had to be involved like very early on in Hyperliquid. I guess you had to be involved in the Genesis, and then you also had to opt in for it. But you know the per NFTs, I think they airdropped them like yesterday, the day before. You know they're sitting at a $50,000 to $70,000 floor.
No way.
Yeah, the 50 to 70K, and you're seeing big names just like market buying them for that price as well.
Wow.
And per has been ripping ever since. So
Wait, who did they airdrop them to?
Early Hyperliquid Genesis users, and I think they had to have like a minimum usage. Yeah, if he opted in for it.
Oh yeah.
I've been using Hyperliquid since November last year. I guess I was like a month or two late. But
Tommy probably got a bunch.
yeah, it's possible. I've never gotten, in my 9 years of being in crypto now, I've never gotten a sizable airdrop of any kind. I've had to do it the hard old-fashioned way. I think Hyperliquid was one of my biggest airdrops, and I got like a couple thousand, which is nice. I'm not complaining, but there's people that made 6 figures on that, and those same people just got another NFT airdrop for close to 6 figures as well. So.
Because you're a grinder, Louis. You're not lucky. You're a
Yeah,
grinder.
I don't take handouts. I do it the old-fashioned way, I guess.
But you would happily take the handout, to be clear. But you don't take handouts.
Especially right now. This would be the perfect time for something like that. But yeah, Per's been popping off, up 30% today. Hit a V-shaped recovery off the low.
I really am interested in Per, but it trades so unbearably, man.
It's been real tough.
The meat grinder of meat grinders, man. It makes meat grinders look like smooth trends. But I know
Yeah,
eventually this thing is going to go. Maybe it's now. Maybe this thing retraces. Time will tell. But
anyone who's been trying to lever up long per in this area got liquidated before they dropped the NFTs. And now they send it. That's exactly what. Luckily, I still have a nice spot back. So I'll take that. Again, I got to do it myself. I don't get the handouts. I gotta do it myself. So BB Wealth Management does have exposure to PER.
that's good.
Yes.
Good man.
But yeah, it looks good. This should be it. If this starts retracing again, I don't know what's gonna save this. Yeah, crazy stuff.
Louis, did you watch the Ryder Cup this weekend?
No, I couldn't. I had a wedding and then I was traveling, and me and my wife made a weekend out of it. Just to have some mommy daddy time away from the kiddo.
Oh, mommy and daddy time. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, did some sightseeing, not sightseeing, but yeah, traveling, hanging out, having a good time. But I didn't miss much. I did miss the Ryder Cup, but
You didn't miss much, man. USA got
anyway.
clobbered.
Yeah.
No, Sunday you missed a lot. Okay, Sunday we came roaring back.
Yeah.
It was pretty epic for a while there.
I didn't even watch Sunday, to be fair. I was kind of like, all right, we probably lost.
We started Sunday with 4 points and we ended with 13. It was epic.
Pretty good. People asking about the frog. I'm going to say what I said in the beginning. I am making a cook today on Andy and Wolf specifically. It's going to be a YouTube video. It's going to drop probably in like 3 hours, 4 hours tops. And it's going to be an absolute super cooker. All right. So you will get all your Boys Club alpha and then some this afternoon. So we're gonna save the Boys Club analysis for the video. All right. But it's coming. It's gonna be nice.
Max, you should, since you do the chart comparisons so well.
Thank you, Louis.
You should look at, of course, you should look at you should compare Pepe to Riot. I was looking at those two charts last night.
Really?
They look very similar. And you're seeing Riot breaking out right now, obviously. But yeah, very, very similar looking charts, if you compare Pepe to Riot.
Pepe and Riot?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally see it.
Just quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Right. Even like the little double bottom to the left, like Riot did the same.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that crazy?
That's funny.
It's
I could use that in my life right about now. So I hope you're right.
Yeah, that's nice.
It'll be funny.
The algo trader. You should fade yourself, bro. You should fade yourself. You just here's the thing. I don't have time to go back and forth with you, man. I don't have the time or the energy. I'm gonna make a video this afternoon. You're either gonna see it or you're not gonna see it. Doesn't matter.
Well, they said the Bitcoin miner.
I just don't care,
People were saying that miners were cooked at the lows as well.
Dude, they're just, people just like to comment on random things. Like, dude, in my last video that I made, I was talking about Riot and someone's like, oh, way to go, shilling miners like at range high. Meanwhile, like the play that I gave out publicly is up like 50% already in like 3 days. So I don't know, man. People are just salty, man. Pepe is the only one I'd buy. That's great, bro. So here's the thing. Like, you should totally buy that. Like 100%, you should do that. I agree. Pepe looks like it's going to rip. But it's also a fallacy to say that you're bullish on Pepe, but not Andy and Wolf. And I've explained that before, and I will show again the evidence of that in my video. But you don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy anything. But it also doesn't make sense to be like Andy and Wolf are cooked. Oh, I'd buy Pepe. That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. There's a lot of evidence that basically points to that not making any sense. But I will show people in that video. I will show you exactly what I'm talking about. Should I sell my house, Max, and buy Pepe? I probably wouldn't, you know. I feel like maybe that's a bit much. Maybe if you had like a second house or like a vacation condo, or like you bought like a house that you're Airbnb-ing and like it's not, it's doing all right, you know, then maybe. Okay.
Yeah, this is what reaccumulation by smart money into high time frame demand looks like. If you guys were wondering.
Dude, Riot looks insane, man. I should have sized in more to my play. I did get, it's going to be all right, you know, but I'm just like, I thought I had like another week to accumulate. Like I was planning on buying more this week because I said to everybody on our Discord call, I was like, I'm about like 25% sized in, maybe like a third, you know, I'm like 30% sized in. We'll just cut the difference. And I said, I'm going to buy more when I think that Bitcoin is bottomed. And I was thinking we were going to put in a bottom this week. So I thought I had this week to buy more Riot calls. And the thing just doesn't want to, just does not want to drop. But it's fine. I got a good entry. I can't be that mad.
I think many people are looking at crypto the same way, Max. Where it's like people just think they're going to have time, right? Like Bitcoin's already showing, right? Kind of put in a meaty V-shaped recovery here. I think a lot of people were thinking the same about Bitcoin and altcoins, that they had more time to probably scoop up the lows this week. And it's just one of those, like, that should be the last trap set. And it's going to be painful if you either capitulated or a forced seller or were waiting for another chance at the lows.
Eventually it just goes, you know?
Yeah.
Eventually it just goes.
Eventually
and it doesn't look back.
Yeah. Has taken longer than we've expected, that's for sure. But doesn't mean it's going to last forever.
Yeah.
Eventually it happens.
Yeah. Well, I can't be too upset. I am definitely positioned, so it's all good.
What is this?
BKKT. I don't know. Somebody was asking about it.
Backed. Wow, that's a throwback. I haven't heard about Backed in a long time. Isn't that like legacy market crypto?
No idea.
Custodian, I want to say, or derivatives. I don't know. I remember hearing about Backed in 2021.
Crypto miner thing. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
All right, guys. I think this is where we call the show. All right. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Before you guys go, please consider leaving us a like or a comment or subscribe if you are new here. Greatly appreciate the continued support. Happy Green Monday. Nice little mix-up. Sucks seeing everything red, so it's cool to see some green across the board this morning. Hopefully everybody is enjoying it. We'll be back Wednesday with another episode of Market Check. We don't have anything tomorrow, so just a reminder, nothing tomorrow, but we'll be back Wednesday with another episode of Market Check. Check out that link above Tucker's chart there, bbterminal.com, guys. We have your all-in-one Swiss Army knife, state-of-the-art tool for charting shit coins, literally portfolio tracking, anything you ever need or want, all bundled into one super website. And I would say like 80% of it is totally free now, guys. So check that out, bbterminal.com. We got state-of-the-art order execution coming very soon for on-chain shitcoins, which is going to be just fantastic, guys. So check that out, bbterminal.com. We would be honored if you would consider checking it out and making the switch. Support yours truly. Don't support the random companies that you don't even know where they're domiciled. You want to support us here at Because Bitcoin. So bbterminal.com, your one-stop shop for everything crypto, indicators, tools, and very soon, like early next month, order execution. But guys, thanks so much for being here. Hit that like on the way out, subscribe to the channel on the way out, and we will see you guys Wednesday for another episode of Market Check. Everybody have a great day, stay safe, and take care.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal,